Are you using CapCut and are they stealing your content? Well, I want you to know that as of June 12th, 2025, this year, they have updated their terms of services and your rights may be affected. So we're going to answer some important questions about this today so that you can make a decision as to whether or not CapCut is right for you. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa, and today I want to dive into a very important topic. It's something that I found over this last week that I was not aware of, and I wanted to give you this information so that you could make a decision to see which is best for you. And this has to do with CapCut's new terms of service update, which occurred back on June 12th of this year, 2025. Now, if you look at a lot of different information that is out there, they're going to let you know that this is really not something that's been any different than what they have done in the past. And so there were some questions though. Once I started listening to a couple of videos and I was reading about it, trying to research and see, is this something that I want to continue to use or not? I found a lot of information that I wanted to share with you. And so I had some questions. We're going to go over those questions that I had, and I just want to give you that information. Comment down below whatever tool that you're using for your editing and let me know if this is helpful for you. All right, so we're going to get into it. So let's get on over here to CapCut's terms of service. And so I want to read this here for you, and you can go back and read the whole thing. I mean, a lot of times we just don't read these things because it's like a lot of words, a lot of verbiage that we don't understand, that comes from a bunch of attorneys, and, it really doesn't always make sense. However, I think some of this is going to make sense to you, and so that's why I want to read it. But if you go under the terms of service under user-generated content, and we come, let me pull this up here so you can see it. So we get to this part. It says, you further grant us and our affiliates, agents, service providers, partners, and other connected third parties a royalty-free, fully transferable, including sub-licensable, worldwide license to your username, your image, and likeness to identify you as the source of any of your user content, including for use in sponsored content. For the avoidance of doubt, the rights granted in the preceding paragraphs of this section include, but are not limited to, the right to reproduce sound recordings and publicly perform and communicate to the public sound recordings, all on a royalty-free basis. This means that you are granting us the right to use your user content without the obligation to pay royalties to you or any third party, including but not limited to, and then it goes on and gives a list of of all this in the creation of your user content. So I was like, wow, that just kind of blew me away, because this is basically saying that your content that you create and that you upload, especially for those that may use like music in your videos, or and if it's your own material or copyrighted material, without telling you or notifying you, they can give this content to a third party and they can use it to monetize it. There's nothing really that you can do about it. So then I was like, wow, so I have a lot of questions now that are popping up in my head. And so I went over here to see, okay, so can CapCut use videos for their own purpose if they're deleted? So this is what AI says. It says, no, CapCut cannot use your deleted videos for their own purposes. And so CapCut's terms of service grant them the right to use, reproduce, distribute, modify, and sub-license content uploaded to their platform for various purposes, including marketing and internal features. However, these permissions are typically tied to content that is stored in their servers. If you delete a video from CapCut, it's no longer accessible by the app and therefore cannot be used for any purpose. Well, I saw all of this, and so then I thought, let me just see. So I put in a little bit different. I just Googled it a little bit different. So I put in here, just remember it says, I put, can CapCut use videos for their own purposes if they're deleted? And here I put in, can CapCut still use your content if it's deleted? So then here it gives me a little bit of a different answer. So it's all in how you ask AI, I guess, So AI says deleting content from CapCut doesn't always mean that it's gone forever, but it also doesn't mean that CapCut can no longer use it. Now, that's not what it said before. So while deleting a project from your CapCut library removes it from your view and likely frees up storage space, which I've done because in the free version, which is what I use, you have only so many I think it's gigabytes of space, and then once you've used it, you can't do any more unless you purchase. Well, you can delete it, and you can go in and delete videos that maybe are old or that you don't think you'll need anymore, and it'll free up that space. So what it's saying here is that it will likely free up storage space. The app may still retain backups or have access to content under certain conditions, like if it was previously uploaded and shared. Additionally, CapCut's terms of service grant them broad usage rights for content uploaded to their servers even after deletion. So I just want you to see this because this is really, it's really just blowing my mind. It really is. It says local deletion. If you delete a video from your phone's camera roll, it may still be present within your CapCut project as a reference. And that was on the Reddit thread. And then backup copies. CapCut may store backup copies of projects in locations that are not immediately obvious. And these may survive deletion from the app itself. And then, of course, it gives, where this is at. And then cloud storage. Like I said, I've uploaded some things to my cloud storage. It says if you've utilized CapCut's cloud storage, deleted content may remain accessible to CapCut according to their terms. Interesting. So another question that I had was, can CapCut upload your videos to another platform without your permission? So let's look at that. And it says, yes, CapCut's terms of service allow them to use your content in various ways, potentially including uploading it to other platforms without explicit permission or compensation. This license is also sub-licensable, meaning that they can allow third parties to use your content. Potential for commercial use. CapCut and its affiliates can potentially use your content in ads, sponsored posts, or even sell it on other platforms without further permission or compensation, according to legal publications. Wow. So according to Isoboke Law Firm, they have this breakdown here of what CapCut did to change its terms of service here in 2025. And so they just give you a breakdown about it. So this is a good resource if you need it as well. All right. So then, that brought up another question. So I'm like, okay, well, is CapCut's terms of service the same as YouTube? Because, I'm on YouTube now. Is this the same thing? So I looked up, is YouTube's terms of service? It says no, YouTube's terms of service are not the same as CapCut, and you can go to kids.youtube.com for their terms of service. So let's go over there for that. And so here you can see it says, by providing, now I want you to listen to this because I was like, It says, by providing content to the service, you grant to YouTube a worldwide, non-exclusive, royalty-free, sub-licensable, and transferable license to use that content, including to reproduce, distribute, prepare derivative works, display, and perform it in connection with the services or the service and YouTube's business, including for the purposes of promoting and distributing part or all of the service. And then it talks about the license here. You also grant each other user of the service a worldwide, non-exclusive, royalty-free license to access your content through the service and to use that content, including to reproduce, distribute, prepare derivative works, display, and perform it only as enabled by a feature of the service. For clarity, this license does not grant any rights or permissions for a user to make use of your content independent of the service. So let's see what the difference is, because pretty much when I read this and I read terms of service for CapCut, I was like, oh, wow, that's really a lot is the same. So then what I did was I went into ChatGPT and I copied and pasted that whole little section. And I asked ChatGPT, how is this different from CapCut's new update to terms and service? So because this is YouTube, so I wanted to know from ChatGPT, how is it different? How is the terms of service different? So scope of usage, here we go. YouTube's license, it says limited to the YouTube service. You grant YouTube a license to reproduce, distribute, prepare derivative works, display, and perform your content within the YouTube platform or through embedded players. So it's only within the YouTube platform. And then business focused, it says the license is intended to operate and promote YouTube, showing your video elsewhere in a playlist or via embedded clips. And then non-exclusive and royalty free, you keep your rights and aren't paid when YouTube or other users use your content within the platform. So CapCut's new license is extremely broad, and it says it's perpetual, and it says you give ByteDance, who I guess now owns CapCut, a worldwide perpetual irrevocable royalty-free, transferable, and sub-licensable license to use your content in any context, commercial, promotional, internal, or third party without further notice or compensation. And it says it applies even when you delete your content or account. It covers use of your content likeness, your voice, your name indefinitely. Wow, like that scared me. I'm not gonna lie. So this was like, oh, I was like, okay, this is a little freaky because, I just don't like that. I mean, most of us my age and older, we don't want our stuff just out there, and especially indefinitely, because if you're gonna delete something, you expect that it's gonna be deleted. Well, obviously not on the internet. So now let's go down to purpose of the license. It says YouTube license is use and restricted only for the operation and distribution within YouTube service, watching, embedding, or promotional features. CapCut's license is open-ended, applicable beyond the editing platform, including resale, sub-licensing, commercial use, and marketing via any channel. So look, they can sell your content. They can sub-license it, and they're getting paid to do this, but they're not going to give you anything for it. Transferability and sub-licensing. YouTube, it says the license is non-transferable and non-sub-licensable. YouTube can't pass your content rights on to others. Other users can view, embed content, but only within YouTube's ecosystem. CapCut grants fully transferable and sub-licensable rights, meaning CapCut can hand your content off to any partner or affiliate for any purpose, and you do not control the downstream use. Wow. Okay. And so then the last thing as far as ChatGPT said that number 4, duration and revocability. YouTube may remove or disable content if needed, but the license ends if you remove the content or terminate your account. Derivative rights in embeds or other non-removable copies may persist, but then CapCut says licensing is irrevocable and everlasting, surviving even if you delete your content or close your account. And then the bottom line, it says YouTube's platform focused, it's limited license, you keep ownership, share content for visibility within YouTube world, but CapCut is global commercial rights. ByteDance gains full, long-lasting rights to use, monetize, redistribute, sub-license, and modify your content, even without notifying or compensating you, even if you delete it. So what can you do? I don't know. I was thinking, I've already used CapCut now for the last year. That's what I've done all my videos with. And so even if I delete them, they still have access to them, most likely. So what can you do? You can use CapCut offline. ChatGPT makes suggestions here, and it says you can use CapCut offline. You can stick to local editing to avoid uploading content that triggers the license. You can consider alternatives. Tools like DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut software don't claim rights over your videos. So my goal is to give you information so that you can make an informed decision on whether or not you should use CapCut, if it's right for you or not. That's what I do in my everyday job when I work 8:30 to 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, and I work with kids, and I'm a nurse practitioner, and I give people information to make informed decisions about their care. So the important takeaway from this is that you really need to read the terms of services for all these platforms that you might be using, or any of these programs that we're using to, for our YouTube channel to help us be better and become better. The terms of service may seem similar to a lot of them, but it just goes to show you that they're very different. So just want to give you this information so that you can make an informed decision and that you can do what's right for you. I want you to do your research as well, because don't go off just what I'm saying. Don't go off what you're hearing from other YouTubers or even what you see on the internet. Do your own research. Well, I really hope this information has has helped you out a lot, and I hope that you've been able to take some of this and maybe you can make a better informed decision of what is right for you. And I want you to do your own research, and I want you to let me know down in the comments below what you think about this and if you're using CapCut right now or not. And so I plan to use iMovie going forward to edit my videos, and DaVinci Resolve is another option that I'm going to look into because I know I've seen a lot of people that have used that and love it. So I'm really thinking about doing DaVinci Resolve. So I'll let you know how that goes in my future videos. But as always, I love you guys. I pray that you're blessed and well and that you have a wonderful week, and we're going to see you in the next video.